The massive colony ship Horizon drifted through the endless darkness of space, its hull scarred and systems failing. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, watching the flickering holographic displays that told a grim story of survival. 17,000 humans remained from an original population of 50,000, survivors of a catastrophic navigation error that had sent them wildly off course from their original mission. The planet below looked harsh and unforgiving. Jagged mountain ranges cut through dense forests, with strange purple-tinged vegetation and rocky terrain that seemed to reject any possibility of human settlement. But they had no choice. The ship's life support systems were breaking down, and their last emergency reserves would last only weeks. Hyun Kim, the chief engineer, calculated their survival probability at just 19.7%. Her calculations were brutal but precise. Most colonial missions failed within the first 5 years, and this planet showed multiple environmental challenges that seemed insurmountable. "We'll need to modify everything," Hyun told Captain Park. Her voice was calm, almost clinical. "Our genetic structures, our technology, our entire approach to survival." The landing was anything but smooth. The Horizon crashed into a mountain valley, its massive hull breaking into 3 primary sections. Hundreds died during the descent, their bodies crushed by the violent impact. But thousands survived, quickly establishing an initial base camp among the wreckage. The first year was brutal. Extreme temperature variations between day and night created constant challenges. The atmosphere, while breathable, contained trace elements that slowly affected human biochemistry. Plants were toxic, water sources required complex filtration, and native microorganisms attacked human immune systems. J. Park realized quickly that traditional survival strategies would not work. They needed to adapt or die. The colony's top scientists began working on genetic modification techniques, developing ways to help humans tolerate the planet's harsh conditions. Within a decade, the first generation of modified humans emerged. Slightly taller, with enhanced metabolic processes and improved cellular regeneration, they looked human but were fundamentally different. Their skin could regulate temperature more efficiently, their lungs processed the complex atmospheric mix with ease, and their immune systems had been redesigned to combat local biological threats. Underground became their sanctuary. Using advanced drilling technologies salvaged from the Horizon, they constructed massive subterranean cities. These cities were not just shelters but complete ecological systems. Hydroponic farms, recycling centers, energy generation units, and living quarters were integrated into complex networks that could sustain thousands. Secrecy became their primary survival strategy. The colony's leadership understood that their unique adaptations and technological developments needed protection. They used advanced stealth technologies to mask their settlements, creating electromagnetic and thermal signatures that would appear as natural geological formations to any potential external scanning. 30 years after the landing, the colony had transformed from a desperate group of survivors to a technologically advanced society. Their isolation became their greatest strength. Without external interference, they could develop technologies and social structures that were pure innovation, unburdened by existing galactic paradigms. Hyun Kim, now the colony's chief research director, had children who looked nothing like traditional humans. Their enhanced capabilities were a testament to human adaptability. They could withstand radiation levels that would kill standard humans, process nutrients from local vegetation that was previously considered toxic, and communicate through advanced neural networks that mimicked but exceeded traditional communication methods. The children learned about their origins, a story of survival, adaptation, and unexpected resilience. They were told about Earth, about the mission that went wrong, about the thousands who died so that they might live. But more importantly, they were taught that their unique existence was a testament to human potential. As decades passed, the hidden colony grew stronger. Their technological developments accelerated. They created energy systems that drew power from the planet's unique geological structures, developed medical technologies that could regenerate human tissue at unprecedented rates, and built computing systems that used quantum principles far beyond traditional computing. No one outside knew they existed. And that was exactly how they wanted it. The seed of humanity, forgotten and lost, was quietly growing into something extraordinary. Su Min stood in the underground research complex, her eyes fixed on a holographic display that flickered with complex quantum equations. For months, she had been working on a communication technology that would change everything. The colony's isolation had become both their greatest challenge and their most significant opportunity. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. During a routine experiment with quantum entanglement, Sumin discovered a method of communication that could transmit information instantly across impossible distances. Unlike traditional communication systems that relied on electromagnetic waves, this new technology used quantum tunneling principles that defied conventional understanding. Her team worked in complete secrecy. The research facility, buried deep beneath the mountain ranges, was a marvel of engineering. Layers of protective shielding prevented any external detection. Quantum computers the size of small rooms processed calculations that would have taken traditional computers thousands of years to complete. The first successful test was almost anticlimactic. A simple message transmitted from one end of the underground complex to another, but the implications were staggering. They had discovered a communication method that could potentially connect across star systems in an instant, with zero signal delay. Daewoo, the colony's strategic leader, immediately recognized the potential. This wasn't just a communication breakthrough, it was a potential weapon, a tool of unprecedented strategic value. If they could develop this technology further, they could observe and understand the galaxy without being detected. Prototype devices were quickly developed. Small quantum communicators that could be disguised as ordinary objects. Devices that could tap into existing communication networks without leaving a trace. Technology that could potentially listen to conversations happening light years away. The colony's engineers began integrating the new technology into their existing systems. Propulsion research accelerated. Traditional rocket and ion engines were replaced with quantum displacement drives that could theoretically move a spacecraft by manipulating spacetime itself. Young researchers like Gene Park started pushing the boundaries. They discovered that the quantum communication technology could be used for more than just communication. It could potentially map energy signatures, detect massive objects across vast distances, and even create localized energy fields that could mask entire settlements. Their technological isolation had become their greatest advantage. Without the bureaucratic constraints of larger galactic civilizations, they could innovate freely. Each breakthrough built upon the last, creating a cascade of technological advancement that was breathtaking in its speed and complexity. Medical technologies evolved alongside communication systems. Nanobots were developed that could repair human cellular damage almost instantly. Genetic modification techniques became precise enough to eliminate hereditary diseases and enhance human capabilities. Sumin's team began exploring the deeper implications of quantum communication. They discovered that information could be transmitted not just across space, but potentially across different dimensional planes. The research was theoretical, but the possibilities were mind-bending. The colony's leadership understood the delicate balance. Too much advancement too quickly could attract unwanted attention. They implemented strict protocols to manage technological development. Each breakthrough was carefully evaluated for its potential risk and strategic value. Energy production took a quantum leap forward. They developed systems that could draw power directly from quantum vacuum fluctuations, essentially creating energy from seemingly nothing. Entire underground cities could now be powered by systems smaller than traditional batteries. As years passed, the technological gap between this hidden human colony and the rest of the known galaxy grew exponentially. They were no longer just survivors, they were becoming something entirely new. A civilization that could potentially rewrite the rules of technological possibility. Daewoo looked at the latest reports from the research teams. What had started as a desperate attempt to survive was now a silent revolution. Humanity's forgotten colony was preparing for something big. Something that would change everything. The quantum communication device on Sumin's desk pulsed softly, a small blue light indicating its readiness. It looked innocent enough, just another piece of equipment. But within its circuits lay the potential to connect, to observe, to potentially control. Humanity's hidden seed was about to bloom. The Galactic Confederation's diplomatic vessel entered the sector with typical bureaucratic confidence. Their long-range scanners had detected unusual energy signatures, but nothing could prepare them for what was about to happen. Daewoo had planned this moment for years. The first contact would be calculated, precise, and completely unexpected. As the alien delegation prepared for a standard reconnaissance mission, the hidden human colony was already 10 steps ahead. Quantum communication networks activated simultaneously across multiple star systems. Holographic projections appeared inside the alien vessel, not as threats, but as intricate displays of technological capability. Complex mathematical equations, advanced scientific models, and glimpses of their hidden civilization flickered around the shocked alien representatives. The lead alien diplomat, a tall crystalline being named Krell, watched in stunned silence. These projections weren't just images, they were live demonstrations of technologies that seemed impossible. Quantum communication networks that could transmit information faster than light. Energy generation systems that defied known physics. Medical technologies that could regenerate entire biological systems in minutes. "We are human," Daewoo's voice resonated through their communication systems. No visual representation, just a clear, calm statement that carried immense weight. "And we are here." The colony's first contact strategy was brilliantly simple. They didn't want war. They wanted to demonstrate absolute technological superiority without firing a single weapon. Each holographic projection was a carefully crafted message: we are advanced, we are prepared, and we are not to be underestimated. Gene Park, leading the communication team, had spent years preparing these precise moments. Every transmission was designed to create maximum psychological impact. The aliens would understand that this was not a first contact scenario, but a declaration of technological emergence. Krell and his delegation tried to respond, but found their communication systems subtly manipulated. Their standard diplomatic protocols were rendered useless. The humans were controlling every aspect of the interaction, demonstrating technical capabilities that made the Galactic Confederation's most advanced technologies look primitive. Strategic information began flooding alien communication networks. Glimpses of the hidden human colony's capabilities, underground cities, advanced genetic modifications, quantum technology that could potentially reshape entire star systems. Not as threats, but as simple, matter-of-fact demonstrations. The psychological warfare was precise. The humans weren't aggressive. They were simply showing their capabilities with clinical detachment. Each revelation was designed to create a specific emotional response, a mixture of fear, respect, and absolute uncertainty. Within hours, the news spread across multiple alien civilizations. A hidden human colony had emerged, and they were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Not conquerors, not diplomats, but something entirely different, a civilization that had developed in complete isolation, and was now ready to make its presence known. Daewoo watched the cascading galactic responses with calculated calm. Their plan was working perfectly. They weren't seeking conflict. They were establishing a new paradigm of existence. The galaxy would now understand that humanity was not just a forgotten species, but a potential reset button for technological and social evolution. The quantum communication devices continued pulsing softly in the underground research facilities. Each pulse was a heartbeat of potential, a silent reminder that this was just the beginning. The hidden human colony had emerged. And the galaxy would never be the same. In that moment, everything changed. Not with weapons. Not with violence. But with pure, unadulterated technological demonstration that rewrote every existing understanding of potential and possibility. Humanity had arrived. Quietly. Precisely. Absolutely, the first star system fell without a single weapon being fired. Gene Park watched the holographic displays as the human colony's strategic systems dismantled an entire alien planetary government through pure technological manipulation. Communication networks collapsed first. Quantum infiltration systems developed by the colony's top engineers subtly replaced existing infrastructure. Power grids became unreliable. Transportation systems stopped functioning. Financial networks dissolved into confusion. Alien military commanders found their most advanced weapons systems suddenly unresponsive. Defensive protocols became meaningless against an enemy they couldn't see or understand. The human colony attacked not with physical force, but with absolute technological superiority. Within 72 hours, an entire star system administration crumbled. No blood was shed. No physical invasion occurred. The human colony simply demonstrated that they could dismantle complex societal structures with mathematical precision. Daewoo understood the psychological warfare perfectly. Each system takeover was a message. Humanity was not interested in traditional conquest. They were demonstrating a new form of strategic dominance that relied entirely on technological innovation. The Galactic Confederation's leadership watched in shocked disbelief. Their most advanced intelligence systems could not track or predict the human colony's movements. Each strategic action was so precise, so mathematically calculated, that it seemed almost supernatural. Multiple star systems began experiencing similar technological disruptions. Communication networks would suddenly redirect. Military systems would become temporarily paralyzed. Economic structures would experience unexplained fluctuations. Always subtle. Always calculated. Gene Park's team had developed quantum infiltration technologies that could enter any existing communication network without leaving traditional trace signatures. They could observe, manipulate, and dissolve complex systems with surgical precision. Alien civilizations began experiencing widespread panic. A hidden human colony had emerged from nowhere, demonstrating technological capabilities that made their most advanced systems look like primitive toys. Not through violence. Not through traditional warfare. But through pure technological innovation. The colony's leadership maintained absolute calm. Each system takeover was not about destruction, but about demonstration. They were showing the galaxy that humanity had evolved into something completely unexpected. Genetic modifications allowed their operatives to integrate seamlessly into different alien societies. They could look, sound, and behave exactly like local populations while conducting their strategic operations. No one could distinguish them from native inhabitants. Quantum communication networks allowed instantaneous information transfer across impossible distances. The human colony could coordinate complex, multi-system operations with zero communication delay. Their strategic capabilities were generations ahead of any existing galactic civilization. Daewoo explained the strategy simply to his leadership team. "We are not conquering," he said. "We are demonstrating potential. We are showing the galaxy what humanity can become when left to develop in isolation." Each strategic action was a carefully calculated message. Humanity was not a forgotten species. They were a potential reset button for technological and social evolution. Not through destruction, but through pure innovative potential. The galaxy watched in a mixture of terror and fascination. A hidden human colony had emerged from nowhere, demonstrating capabilities that defied every existing understanding of technological possibility. Within weeks, multiple star systems found themselves subtly restructured. Not through traditional invasion, but through technological manipulation so precise it seemed almost like a mathematical dance. The human colony was rewriting the rules of galactic interaction. Gene Park looked at the holographic displays. Another system was about to experience their precise, bloodless revolution. No weapons. No traditional conflict. Just pure, unadulterated technological superiority. The hidden human colony had arrived. And the galaxy would never be the same. Young Kim stood before the Galactic Council, her presence both calm and electric. The council chamber, once a symbol of alien bureaucratic power, now felt small and insignificant. The human colony had transformed the galactic landscape without firing a single weapon. Their technological offerings were both a gift and a subtle threat. Advanced medical technologies that could cure diseases thought incurable. Energy systems that could transform entire planetary economies. Communication networks that made previous galactic infrastructure look like primitive radio signals. Some alien civilizations resisted. They soon discovered the futility of their opposition. The human colony could dismantle entire governmental systems with mathematical precision, not through force, but through technological superiority that seemed almost magical. Daewoo's strategic vision had been perfect. They weren't conquerors. They were catalysts of change. Each technological offering came with carefully constructed cooperative frameworks that reimagined how civilizations could interact. The first wave of cooperation began with medical technologies. Human-developed nanobots could heal genetic disorders, reverse aging processes, and rebuild cellular structures with unprecedented speed. Alien societies that initially feared the humans now begged for these technologies. Quantum communication systems became the new standard. The human colony didn't just offer the technology, they redesigned entire communication infrastructures. Instant information transfer across star systems became possible. Civilizations that were once isolated could now communicate with unprecedented speed and clarity. Energy production technologies transformed entire planetary economies. Systems that could generate power from quantum vacuum fluctuations meant that resource-poor planets could suddenly become technological powerhouses. The economic implications were staggering. Yun Kim understood the delicate balance. Each technological offering was a carefully calculated move. They weren't just sharing technology, they were restructuring galactic potential. The human colony's genetic modifications became another point of fascination. Humans could now adapt to virtually any planetary environment. Their biological systems could process different atmospheric compositions, withstand extreme radiation, and regenerate damaged tissues with remarkable speed. Some alien civilizations saw this as a threat. Others saw it as an opportunity for collaboration. The human colony remained consistent in their approach: open, precise, and completely unpredictable. Strategic leadership meetings revealed the deeper vision. This wasn't about conquest. This was about reimagining potential. Humanity had developed in isolation, and that isolation had become their greatest strength. Quantum technologies developed in their hidden colony began reshaping multiple scientific disciplines. Physics, medical research, communication systems, everything was being fundamentally reimagined. The Galactic Council, once a symbol of established power, now found itself adapting to a new reality. The humans weren't asking for permission. They were demonstrating a new way of existing. Daewoo's final strategic document was simple: we are not here to replace. We are here to evolve. Alien civilizations began sending diplomatic missions. Not as conquerors or competitors, but as students. They wanted to understand how this hidden human colony had developed such extraordinary capabilities. The human colony's underground cities became legendary. Massive technological hubs where innovation happened at speeds that defied traditional understanding. Each breakthrough built upon the last, creating a cascade of potential that was breathtaking. Yun Kim's presentation to the Galactic Council was her final masterpiece. Not a demand. Not a threat. But a vision of collaborative potential that reimagined what civilization could become. As she finished speaking, the council members understood something profound. The humans weren't just sharing technology. They were offering a fundamental reset of galactic potential. The hidden human colony had emerged. And nothing would ever be the same again. A new galactic order had begun. Quietly. Precisely. Absolutely.